Welcome to this part of Strategic HRM, Strategic Human Resource Management. We're going to talk about talent management. So, this quick segment focuses on talent management and how we attract and maintain and manage and keep our super employees. So, talent management is really the anticipation, I should say, of what we're going to need in the future. So we're anticipating the need for our employees in the organization, and we need to set a plan to actually meet it. And that is something that we would discuss in more detail in an HR course, which this is not. So we need to have a long-term plan for the employees that we will need or not need in terms of if we have too many positions that are not going to be with us in the future, for instance. And so we would have to do something like layoffs or trim the workforce some way. So that is what talent management is the long-term view of the human capital we need and then setting a plan to meet that. The second part here is war for talent. So companies will compete for the best and the brightest, and we have the most able employees. Every organization has them. It means that these are the individuals that are our star performers. So we have some employees that are probably exceeding their performance standards, and not every employee is going to be a top performer. So a few percent of every workforce could be considered the most able or a star performer. And so how do we actually compete with other companies to make sure that we get these best and brightest individuals to make sure that we can be competitive in the marketplace? And there is research showing that these most able employees, these top performers, actually account for a bigger part of the productivity and the outcomes of the organization than the rest of the workforce. So your A players, if you want to call them that, some books do, a smaller number of A players might actually contribute to the bottom line more than a greater number of B players would. So that's the war for talent. Then we also have something called succession planning, which relates to talent management. So succession planning is making sure that we have a pipeline of people that can fill the key roles within the organization. So some of the roles within the organization are more crucial, more important for the company in the long term than other jobs, other roles. So succession planning is us finding individuals that can get into the pipeline to make sure that we have people ready and able to take over those key roles if the individuals who currently are in them for some reason leave the company. So that is succession planning. So we ensure that employees are recruited and developed to fill each key role that we have within the organization. So when we come and take a look at how we actually hire people, what does that mean? Every organization is different. Government organizations can be different from a for-profit organization, which can be different from a non-profit organization. And even within the same type of organization, say for-profit organizations, a tech company like Google is going to be different from a retail company like H&M, which is going to be different from a grocery store like Raley's. So each organization, each company actually have to figure out what type of employee do they actually want. So what does that employee look like? So coming up with maybe an employee profile, which includes things like technical expertise, maybe behavioral. Do they work on teams or not? Do they need to be able to manage conflict or not? How should they be able to communicate? Those are all behavioral knowledge and skill sets that are not necessarily technical, meaning can they actually do the job we hire them for? And then also, do they fit with the organization? We might have a different or specific or unique type of culture, and do they fit within that culture? So every organization pays attention to the type of employee that they want to hire. And of course, we want our employees to be enthusiastic, when they come to work. So they are not coming just for the paycheck and to get wages and bonuses, but they're coming and they're bringing their all to the organization. So we want to make sure that we hire employees that are actually happy to be here, happy to work for us, enthusiastic about the work. So checking in with the job candidates' goals and aspirations to make sure that they match the company. So this is what we do to attract the right workers to our organization. So how do we know? How do we know if a person is a good fit? Well, we can try to assess that with something called a signature experience. That's one way, one assessment to see if the person would be a good fit. So a signature experience is a distinct practice, something that we do, that shows what it really is to work at our company. And so clearly, different companies would have different signature experiences. So this book talks about two examples. One is Whole Foods, and the other one would be Goldman and Sachs. And very different types of organizations. So at Whole Foods, they are a team-based organization where most, if not all even, work that is being done is done by teams, and the team gets to decide. So they're sort of managing themselves. And so when we're actually hiring people into this organization, Whole Foods, which is a grocery store that came out of Texas and has since been bought up by Amazon, actually, the employees get to have a lot of say and a vote in whether the new employee would be hired or not. So they have team-based interviews and they get to hang out with the peers or peers to be, and then the employees have a lot of input into this. So, conclusion, if you want to work at Whole Foods, you need to get along with other people. Goldman Sachs investing doesn't really do what Whole Foods does. They have one-on-one interviews where you have to go through a series of interviews to make it to the end of it and possibly get a job offer at the end of all of that. And it's a different type of culture. It's much more competitive, and they want to make sure that you are comfortable in maybe high stress, high anxiety situations with a lot of different people, right? So meeting new people, getting along with new people. So you're going to be doing a bunch of interviews over here. So at the end of it, we know whether you would be comfortable in an environment where we require you to meet new people and build networks across the organization, not just within your team. So our most able employees, or our star employees, right? How do you keep them? How do you retain them? Well, you want to make sure that you keep them happy in their career. So you need to set goals for where they are going in the shorter term, and maybe also goals where they're going in the longer term, so that they feel that they have a place within the organization. So let's do career planning, longer term career planning, setting goals, making sure that people are happy. And so you want to match people's skills, abilities, and personal goals with the goals of the organization. So asking questions such as, what assignments have you found most engaging? That is going to tell you what they like doing and also how you can fit them into the career path of the organizations. Which of your accomplishments in the last 6 months made you the proudest? What makes for a great day of work, right? Questions like these to find out what excites people and what they're passionate for. We do know clearly that people want wages and salaries and bonuses and incentives and rewards. But day to day, the job is the most important thing. If you don't have a job you don't like, you're not going to be very happy at work, even though the salary is good. It's just not going to bring up your happiness level on a Tuesday afternoon if the job sucks. And with that, we also want to grow and develop. Most of us have some type of need for ambition or achievement, and so we want to make sure we grow as we grow older and we grow in our careers and develop. We acquire new knowledge, skills, and abilities. Remember that knowledge, skills, and abilities we talked about before, as well as other characteristics. So how can we develop? Companies need to provide these to us. So we can do that through mentoring, through networking, and people that do these things tend to be better off, tend to be more successful, than if you don't. We also want a sense of purpose. Why are we here? Are we making a difference? And especially the new generations, or the Gen Zs and the millennials, tend to want to have a purpose-filled work career more so than maybe Gen Xers and Boomers. So younger workers rank meaningful work more important. So we all talk about networking, right? We can do social networking, meaning it's virtual. We can do networking in real life, meaning we're actually meeting people face to face. But as a career building strategy, it becomes very important. So make sure that you have your LinkedIn profile, make sure that you connect with people face to face in your industry organizations, associations. It's just one of those foundational building blocks that's going to make sure that people are successful in their careers. That's going to wrap it for our talent management and succession planning, attraction, retention segment. See you soon. Take care.